Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday to you. Start of another week. Ready to get this day started. I'll be working Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I got jury duty. And hopefully, God willing, I'll be back to work Thursday and Friday. But we don't know what this week will bring forth with the jury duty. So it's a wait and see type of thing. I wanted to talk about today about a certain young lady who's been going viral lately. And not for a good reason. But this lady has been celebrated because, she's black and she's a woman, all that business. And folks just celebrate her, because she made some accomplishments and everything. And, they got the black girl magic going on and everything. The person I want to talk about is Simone Biles. Simone Biles, she's probably the most decorated gymnast in Olympic history. She worked hard, she put forth the effort, and, she got rewarded for it. I have no problem with that. I will not deny that she's hardworking and that, she really earned her status and her rewards as a gymnast. And no one's denying that. No one's denying that at all. But I think a lot of the praise for her, as I see with a lot of black women, a lot of the praise, is somewhat over the top. Every time a black person achieves something, people just, they just fall out and, oh yeah, look at this black person this black person that. And, as an aside, let me just say this. There was a time where, that was permissible, I guess that's, for lack of a better word, it was okay to, to report the achievements of black people, because back in the day, black folks were seen as lazy. We were seen as we're not as good as the white folks and everything. And back in the day, that may have been okay to, report all that. But now it's gotten to the point where it's too over the top, really. I remember in, I think it was 2018, my wife and I, we went to see Black Panther. And, what we saw in Black Panther was not, I don't think it was worthy of the praise that it got. It got a Best Picture nomination and all that. And I didn't think that movie was that good. But people were so, we got a black superhero, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think that movie was that good. And my wife, who is from Wakanda, so to speak, she's from Liberia, but I'm just being facetious when I say that. But my wife, she definitely was not impressed with the movie. And some people even said that, we went to see Black Panther. It wasn't as good as I thought it was. It was just that people overhyped it. And I think that's what happened. And I'm seeing this a lot in entertainment industry, the music industry. We just tend, when a black person makes an achievement, we tend to overshoot it. We tend to, hype the praise and, look at what this black person has done. Look at this black person this black person that. And this is the same thing with Simone Biles. Okay, so, you know, and I think that, you know, people praising Simone Biles as, you know, decorated, you know, I don't think it's wrong for them to do that. But by her being a little black lady and supposedly and quite possibly a little black liberal lady, that's where all the praise comes from. Because if Simone Biles was a conservative black woman, she wouldn't be getting all the praise that she's been getting. I'm just going to let you know that right now. But she made a comment. I forget the name of that swimmer, this girl. Randy something. I think it's Randy. I need to, you know, I should have done, you know, checked her name out before I started this video. I'm on my way to work, so I can't do it now. But this girl said, you know, she basically said men don't belong in women's sports. And she was talking about this 6'4" guy. I forgot his name. But he identifies as a woman. He's a trans woman. And folks, let me tell you all something. When you hear trans before a gender, you know, like trans woman, trans man, translate that word trans, the prefix trans, translate that to fake, because that's what it means. A trans woman is a fake woman. A trans man is a fake man. But anyway, this girl was saying that men don't belong in women's sports, which men don't. You can sit there and call yourself a man all you want. You call yourself a woman all you want. But your DNA says that you're otherwise. You could go, you know, get augmented in certain parts of your body, hack certain parts of your body off, all that crazy mess. You do all that you want. But it doesn't take away the fact that you are what your DNA says you are. And I've been hearing a lot of people lately talking about that when you're born, you're assigned a gender, that you're assigned. Like when you're born, the doctor says, you know what? I'm going to call you a girl. Even though you got men parts and everything, I'm going to call you a girl because, you know, like they give you an assignment. The doctors assign a gender to you. No, your gender is given to you at conception. I was not assigned a male when I was born. Reason why they called me a male was because I had male parts. Same thing with a female. And so, you know, we got this thing where gender is fluid. You know, you can be whatever you think you are. You know, gender is just a social construct, and, you know, and you can be whoever you want to be. Kind of strange how that goes, though, because there are certain white people that call themselves black, but people are not accepting of them. But hey, if you're a man and you call yourself a woman, we got to cater to your preference. No, you are a man. You are a woman. That is how you were born. It was not assigned to you. That is how you were conceived. But anyway, Simone Biles gets on this swimmer talking about, you know, you're just mad because you're in fourth place, because you came in fourth, and, you know, and because this man was swimming with the ladies and he was just dominating. And he's not the only example. You got biological males running with the girls on track teams, and just dominating the field, just dominating. And not only that, now this is the thing that really disgusts me. This is the reason why I probably wouldn't let a girl, if I had a daughter, play in public school sports. When they go into the locker room, these biological males will be in the locker room changing with them and watching them as they change. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Where is the common sense? Where is the decency? Now, if you want to pretend you're a woman and all that crazy mess or whatever, you have at it. I think it's disgusting, but you have at it. But you having male parts and you changing in a girl's locker room and watching the girls change, that's going way too far. It's disgusting. And who's to say these men might not even be homosexual? They might just say, hey, I feel like I'm a woman, so I should be able to go into a women's bathroom, women's locker room, or whatever. And they might use that as an opportunity to assault some of these girls. Hey, you can't kick me out of here. I'm a man. I'm a woman. And do you all find it kind of strange too that it's these men who are trying to get into girls' sports, but it's not the girls trying to get into the boys' sports? You ever wonder about that? There might be some exceptions or whatever, but you ever notice that you don't see girls trying to get into men's sports? You don't see trans men trying to get into male sports. I wonder why is that? And folks, when you have men on competing with girls in women's sports, that's a form of cheating. That person does not deserve the awards that they get. That's why we have separate sports. We have female, male. I don't understand where the confusion lies. And now we got 62 different genders. I don't know where they get that mess from. And see, me being a Bible believer, the Bible says God created male and female. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So in order for you to believe that there are more than two genders, you cannot be following the Bible. And I'll be honest with you, you got certain people that call themselves Bible believers that believe it's okay to affirm these other so-called genders. Then you don't believe the Bible. And you need to sit your butt down. But Simone Biles, she gets up on this lady and says, you're just a sore loser, and why don't you, start a neutral version of the track team or the swim team, whatever she was saying. But someone tried that before. They wanted to start a transgendered swim team. I think it was in Britain. Not one person showed up to be a part of that. Even the 6'4" swimmer, male swimmer. So it lets me know that these people, they're doing this just to shake things up. No, I'm a biological male. I feel like I'm a female. And I want to go with the ladies. This is crazy mess, people. This world has turned absolutely cuckoo. And you got people who support this stuff. You know, we're in the middle of so-called Pride Month. Bible has a lot to say about those of us who want to follow our pride. But we're in the middle of Pride Month, and we're trying to celebrate. I don't see anything to be celebrated by a man pretending to be a woman or a woman pretending to be a man. There's nothing to be celebrated there. And this is not hatred for homosexuals or the trans or anything. There's no hatred there from me. It's just disgusting. I have no hatred for these people. I have a hatred for their lifestyle. I'm not going to affirm their lifestyle. But I keep getting off the beaten path when I wanted to focus on what Simone Biles was saying, and she was criticizing this girl, said we need to be more affirming of the homosexuals, and we need, and Simone Biles, she's showing that she's a liberal. And you got a lot of people who are black liberals who don't believe in homosexuality, but they'll totally ignore Simone Biles' statements because, oh, she's a black girl. She's a black girl. So, just carry on. But wasn't Simone Biles one of those girls who brought up charges against a doctor who was accused of sexually molesting girls on the gymnastics team? I think it was her and 4 other girls. Might be more. Her and 4 other girls. They brought up these charges. This man was sexually molesting them. And he got some jail time too. And I think he should have gotten jail time. I think they, be honest with you, anyone who molests a child, sexually molests a child or whatever, I think they should give them the death penalty, but I digress. But this guy was charged with molesting these girls, and he got prison time. Simone Biles was one of the complainants in this case. But all of a sudden, she's so affirming of men being able to dress up in girls' locker rooms and compete with girls in sports and everything like that. Something's off. Something's off with this girl. But see, that's how liberalism is. They want to affirm the goofy. They want to affirm the weird and all that crazy mess. And they want to point the finger at conservatives, but they're the ones who are unloving. They're the ones who are violent. They're the ones who are supporting wrong and calling it right. They're the ones doing that, but they want to push that off on conservatives. But this is why I don't celebrate black achievement or anything like that anymore. I'm like, okay, well, hey, it was a black dude that did this. Okay, that's fine. So what? Now that, like I said, back in the past, that probably was necessary, because people felt like black people weren't able to achieve anything. But this day and age, it's like, okay, all right, y'all. Okay, first black woman this and first black man this. Okay, all right. I don't care what achievement they make, if it's an achievement that's going to be a benefit to all mankind, I don't care who it comes from, black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, I don't care. And this is where the black fatigue comes in at, because we're so over the top when it comes to black achievement. Oh, look, this black man, this and this. But see too, but there's a caveat with black achievement. You have to be a black liberal in order to be celebrated. Give you an example. How many black people celebrate Clarence Thomas? How many black people celebrate Thomas Sowell or Walter Williams or Larry Elder? See, I think the liberalism is what's the icing on the cake. But Simone Biles needs to sit herself down somewhere. Sit yourself down. She probably, if I'm correct, she lives in a nice house. She needs to sit down in her living room and just gaze at her Olympic medals that she's won over the years. That's what she needs to do. And if you're a transgender and you want to be a part of a sport, why can't you come up with your own transgender sport? Why do you have to, force yourself into a sport for girls? And I keep saying, for girls, because you don't see transgendered men trying to fight to be a part of men's sports. And there's a reason for that. Somewhere deep down in their recesses, in the recesses of their being, they understand, hey, I am actually a biological girl. And if I try to compete with biological men, they're going to whoop my tail. You don't see biological women fighting to go to use the men's bathroom. Trans men, you don't see them fighting to use the men's bathroom. You see the trans women trying to do that. Excuse me. But Simone Biles is just she's just one of the pieces of the puzzle. She's not the only one that thinks like that. But because she has so much publicity, she has a celebrity status, she's going to be noticed more often, and people are giving her a lot of backlash by her statements. Simone Biles is a good little black liberal girl, and therefore she gets mainstream liberal media's attention. But she's also facing a lot of backlash for her comments. Look, folks, let me tell you all something. If you think it is fair for a trans woman to run with actual women, something is wrong with you. It's not fair. Men are built different than women. And once again, there are exceptions. Very few and far between. There are exceptions. But men are built different than women. We are stronger. We have more stamina, have more endurance than a woman does. Now, that's not me being a misogynist or anything like that. That's just how it is. If you got a problem with it, don't take it up with me. You take it up with the Creator. You take it up with God. Because I didn't create one man or woman or anything like that. You got a problem with it, you take it up with God. And I don't know why you would take it up with God either, because he's the creator of all things. But apparently, some of you all don't believe that, because you believe a man can be a woman. You believe men can get pregnant. You believe men can menstruate. Crazy mess. I mean, how did we get here, people? I mean, really, how did we get here? Just 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been so affirming of a lot of this stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, Simone Biles needs to sit her little short tail down somewhere. And she needs to abscond with the hypocrisy. She needs to shed the hypocrisy that she's showing. And she needs to stop listening to mainstream liberal media. She needs to shed that liberal moniker that she's walking in right now. And her and all her little lackeys and everything that believe in this stuff, you know, you all should know better. You know that a biological man is no competition for a biological female. And there's a reason why we have men's sports and women's sports. And she can get on her little soapbox all she wants to and say all this stuff. But at the end of the day, she's just wrong. She's just pure wrong. You know. I mean, yes, she's to be celebrated because of her accomplishments. But her statements lately, no. You don't. When you get involved in a sport or something, we don't need to hear your politics. You know, some people are still upset with, I forgot who it was that said, shut up and dribble. Well, I want to say to Simone Biles, shut up and flip. This is Vincent E. Brown. I'm signing off. Until the next time, I'll see you on the rebound.